Hey guys, this is Ross Hamil with Hamil Brothers Studios, and I am back with another tutorial. Today I'm going to be talking about pull down, and that is the process that gets your non-60i interlaced footage converted to 60i interlaced footage for broadcast. So for us, what this means is we shoot and workflow everything at 24p, and when it comes time to deliver it, we've got to convert it to 60i footage for the cable company or the TV station or wherever we're sending this to. So what we've got here is our master clip. Now I'm going to drop this down into a composition, and it's going to create a composition based on the clip settings, which is fine. And once we've got our master composition set up, we're going to go to Composition, Make Movie, and I'm going to set this to Photo JPEG because DNxHD has a few extra steps involved that I'm not going to go into right at this time. But if you know how to manipulate the DNxHD codec, then you won't have any problems. So we've got to go into our render settings, and right now you can see that our frame rate is set to 24p. And so what we've got to do is tell After Effects that when it exports, we want it to render fields, which is adding interlacing, and then we've got to go through a process called pull down. Now in the case of 24p, it is a 3-2 pull down, and that basically helps you preserve the look of 24p over a 2997 interlaced output, and when you bring it back up on TV or it goes out over cable, it's going to look the same as what you wanted it to look when you were delivering it. So I'm going to select our first cadence here. I don't know that there's a lot of difference in these cadences other than the field order, but that's something that somebody a lot smarter than me would have to dig into. But for our purposes, this first cadence has worked just fine. Now if you notice over here, we've got our frame rate of 23.976, but watch what happens when I select this first cadence. Boom. Frame rate sampling at 23.976, but it's telling it to use this frame rate of 2997. And what it's going to do is interlace our footage for us. So once you have your output set, you just click render, and you'll notice that instead of just going frame by frame, you'll have the frame number and then a U or an L for whether it's upper or lower. So now we know how to create a master output that is interlaced that you can then take into Adobe Media Encoder or something like that and create a broadcast MPEG or QuickTime, whatever delivery specs that the company wants that you're delivering for. So now let's talk about the reverse of this and removing pull down. So what I've got here is a timeline that's a 24p timeline, and I've got some footage that's 2997. Now this doesn't work for footage that you shot at 2997. This isn't about mixing frame rates, but this footage came off of a camcorder that offers a 24p option, but it doesn't record to actual 24p. So what it does is inside the camera it adds that pull down that I was just showing you in After Effects. So what we've got to do is we've got to take our footage from here, and we can right click and copy it and go back into After Effects. Premiere does not do anything with pull down as far as importing or outputting. So you can't remove pull down in Premiere, and you can't export with pull down in Premiere unless they've changed something in one of the recent updates to Creative Cloud. But as of Creative Cloud last year, it couldn't be done. And so we're going to go back into After Effects. I'm just going to create a new comp here. Settings 1080p, 24p, that's exactly what I want. So I'm going to go up here to Edit and Paste, and that's going to bring my footage in. Now I apologize, this footage is horrible. I shot this on a fishing trip with my dad a couple years ago and took a camcorder out that I didn't care if I dropped it in the water or not because it was my first time on a kayak. And I obviously didn't want to drop a nice camera in the water, and so I took this dinky little Canon camcorder that I have, and the only thing I would have been upset about is losing the memory card had it fallen in the water. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select the footage, and I'm going to right click on the footage and go to interpret footage. Now, if you look here, when I've selected the footage, we show that it's separating the fields is upper, and it's interpreting it at 2997, which is what it's supposed to be at. However, we want to work in 24p because we work in 24p. So I'm going to go over here to interpret footage, and I'm going to go into the main interpretation. And right down here, I'm just going to click on this button that says Guess 3-2 Pull Down. And what you'll see here is it's going to guess the pull down cadence, and then it's going to show me what our effective frame rate is. So I'm going to click that, and wham, we've got pull down removed at this cadence in an effective frame rate of 23.976 frames per second. So what this has done is removed the pull down, like it says right up here, 3-2 removal. So now what we've done is we've taken this footage that was shot at 24p with pull down added to 2997 and removed the pull down, and now we're back in 24p. And we can render this out to DNX HD or ProRes or something that's going to be a lot easier to work with when we're editing in Premiere. Anyway, this is our tutorial about pull down. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment, and if you would, just go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I look forward to doing many more of these, and hopefully as questions come in, maybe I can do some more tutorials. So again, this is Ross Hamil with Hamil Brothers Studios, and thanks for stopping by.